from Maryland, I mean, we have nothing like this as far as terrain-wise, and that's really what was so intriguing to me. And the fact that everybody would always say, no one from the East Coast can ever win it. It's a West Coast-based thing, and that's just, that just lit a fire for me. And we got our first one in 2012, so our third year doing it. We won it again in 2016, and here we are today. Pretty proud of what we put together. It's a front engine, 2-seat, straight axle design. We run a trailing arm in the back. It's pretty simple. It's LF based with a Turbo 400 Atlas transfer case, 9-inch axles, 40-inch Nittos, and MagnaFlow exhaust on it. The recipe is simple. The car is very clean, but there's so many working components. You're so confined when you build an Ultra4 vehicle. Trophy trucks, they just have all the room in the world. They can run their exhaust outside the doors. They got cabs, that are 65 plus inches wide. These things you have to cram 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag and then make it run through the rock trails and go fast in the desert. I've always been a big proponent of it's lost in the desert and won in the rocks. I mean, it doesn't take much, and you can really hurt the car in the deserts. And you can make a lot of time up in the rocks if you have an issue early. Whereas, if somebody hurts their car early on, they're going to be limping. Co-driver in Johnson Valley, I think, is really key. Over the course of 7-8 hours, it's really, really hard to stay focused 100% of the time and make no mistakes. Winning King of the Hammers is one of the craziest feelings in the world. It's so epic when you crest Short Bus and you're in the lead and you see all of Hammertown in the finish line after 7.5 hours, and you're as happy as you could be, and you just know what went into it. All the people behind you, your friends, your family, your supporters. There's nothing else like it.